Everyone, today I'll be saying a few words and then followed by the Premier and then followed by the Education Secretary Tim Bullard, and also here today for support is Mayor Rockcliffe as well. This afternoon I can provide an update on the tragic incident at Devonport Hillcrest Primary School earlier today. I can now sadly confirm that 4 children have died, and 4 are in a critical condition and 1 in a serious condition. They were grade 6 students. Police and emergency services were called to the scene around 10 a.m. this morning after a wind gust had reportedly caused the jumping castle and inflatable Zorb balls to lift into the air. Police and emergency services quickly began administering first aid at the scene. Of the 4 children, 2 were boys and 2 were girls. On a day when these children were meant to be celebrating their last day of primary school, instead we're all mourning their loss. Our hearts are breaking for the families and the loved ones, schoolmates, teachers of these young people who were taken too soon. Our thoughts are also with those emergency services personnel who attended to try and save these people's lives. We're going to be doing everything we possibly can to support the school community and the community at large. There will be counselling available to the wider community and also to the school community, and Secretary Tim Bullard will go into that further in relation to the school community. Our focus now is supporting those who are tragically affected by what's happened here today. The loss of children affects us all, and our thoughts and prayers are certainly with the loved ones and the school community. An investigation is underway. The coroner has visited the scene already. We'll be supplying a report to the coroner in conjunction with WorkSafe Tasmania. That will take some time to complete, and once that's completed it'll be handed to the coroner for an inquest. Again, our thoughts and prayers are with the families affected by this and the wider school community. We know there are many going to be affected. We also know that many were there who witnessed this very tragic event. With that, I'll hand over to the Premier.
Thank you, Commissioner. Well, today's tragedy at Hillcrest Primary School here in Devonport is devastating and heartbreaking for all involved. It's difficult for me to find the right words in such tragic circumstances in which, as we've just heard, very sadly, 4 children have passed away. I'm certain that I speak for all Tasmanians in extending my deepest sympathies to the family, friends and loved ones of everyone affected by today's tragedy. For the 5 children who remain in hospital, our thoughts and prayers are with them and their families and their friends during this very difficult time. On a day when school children were celebrating at the end of term so close to Christmas, it's simply inconceivable that this shocking incident has occurred. We stand ready to provide whatever support we can to the families directly impacted, the students, staff and the broader community, and importantly also to our emergency services and our first responders, who I know have also been affected very deeply. I know that this is a strong and caring community that will stand together and support one another. I know that they will do that with love and kindness to get them through this. I know that I speak for all Tasmanians when I say that we will stand with this community through this difficult time as well. My heart goes out to everyone impacted by this tragic event. And I do want to just mention the helplines that people can reach out to should they need to. If you need support, you can call Lifeline on 131114, the Kids Helpline on 1800 551 800, the Mental Health Helpline on 1800 332 388, or Beyond Blue on 1300 224 636. I know that this is utterly devastating and heartbreaking for all involved. And as I've said, I know I speak on behalf of all Tasmanians when I say that our thoughts and prayers are with those 5 children that are still in hospital, and our sympathies are with those families and friends and loved ones of the 4 children who have unfortunately passed away. I'll hand over to Tim Bullard.
Thank you, Premier. It's with a heavy heart that I'm here today with the events that have occurred. This is a tragic incident, and I want to pass on my deepest sympathies to the families impacted. I know personally that Hillcrest Primary School is a close-knit community where our staff work hard to care for and support our learners, and I also acknowledge the immense impact that today's events has had and will have on those staff. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the first responders. My thoughts are also with you. Today's tragedy is something that will have a deep impact on the Northwest community, and our immediate priority is supporting the children, families and staff so deeply impacted. We're coordinating a range of services as a critical response to support students, families and staff, and our approach is being guided by our senior psychologists who are trained in trauma-informed practice. We have a team of professional support staff on site to provide immediate support to students and staff, and this includes our psychologists, social workers and chaplains. These staff will also be on site tomorrow, with ongoing support being provided through the weekend and going into the holidays. If you are a Hillcrest family, a member of our school community, please phone the school for support. What has occurred today is a tragedy, and there are no words that I can give that will take away the grief that those impacted families are feeling right now. What we can do is wrap our support and love around the Hillcrest school community, and what you can do is wrap your support and love around each other, your families and yourselves, because this will impact us all in some way.
Thanks, Tim. Okay, open for questions.
How many children were actually on the jumping castle?
There is an investigation underway on behalf of the coroner. Those investigations are continuing to find out that information so we can hand it on to the coroner.
Can you tell us what was used to anchor down the jumping castle at this stage?
Again, it's important to recognise that people are still grieving. We're still at the scene investigating those matters, so that'll all be included in the investigation along with WorkSafe to be given to the coroner. But our main role here now is to investigate and also support the community.
With the children that are injured and getting medical treatment, can you tell us which hospitals they're in? Have one of them been flown to Melbourne, or are they in Tasmania?
In relation to their health condition and which hospital they're at, I'd rather not say, because they are receiving the best medical care in Tasmania. So rather than give away where they are at the moment, it's about they're at the best hospitals to get the best care they possibly can.
But they are staying in Tasmania?
At the moment, in those conditions, as we know, can change rapidly. So they are getting the best care in the best hospital system in Tasmania to make sure they got the appropriate care. They were grade 6, and again, I don't want to go into their ages, but they were grade 6.
It must be very emotional place we've seen today. How did you guys cope?
It is an emotional day for everyone who's tragically impacted by today. I've already seen pictures of police officers quite upset, as you'd expect, any emergency services and teachers. Everyone is affected in some way. We have a welfare team already on the way up to provide support to the emergency services. I know education, as Mr Bullard said, has got their support services coming up today to make sure that support is provided. So we have sadly a well-rehearsed health and wellbeing support service to everyone involved.
Is it WorkSafe that's investigating the incident? Or?
It's Tasmania Police take the lead to investigate on behalf of the coroner, along with WorkSafe.
How long do you expect that investigation?
As you'd expect, the police are still on the scene investigating. It will take quite some time. Sadly, there is a number of people and witnesses there that need to be interviewed, so it will take quite some time and will be guided by the coroner. And as I said, the coroner has already been there, and we've spoken to the coroner to receive guidance.
And it is the last day of school today. Would you encourage the students to maybe still go back to the school or still stay connected with that community, considering they're not going back to school for the year?
The advice I would give anyone in relation to these circumstances, take the advice from the Education Department. They have well rehearsed and clear information about supporting those children. They will be reaching out to the school community to make sure they've got the best advice, to make sure that anyone who's having any issues get the support that they need.
Is this easily one of Devonport's biggest tragedies that we've seen police today?
Sadly, it's one of the most serious tragedy that any of us are going to experience. Anything involving children affects us all. You know, many of us are parents, so it affects us all, and this is a sad day for Devonport, but I also know the community will rally around to support those affected, either indirectly and directly, so it is a very sad day. There is a number of witnesses to this incident, and again, that's where the investigation will continue to find out how many people were involved, impacted, and also witnessed the event, so we can get a clearer picture of what happened.
Obviously, this is a tight-knit community. What would you say to people that might necessarily have connections to the schools that were affected in the community? Do you have any suggestions for how they should agree going forward?
If anyone finds themselves affected in any way, you don't have to be at a scene like this to actually be impacted. You only have to be a parent or a caring person that is going to be impacted. So as the Premier read out those support numbers, I would encourage people to actually reach out to those support numbers and get the support that they need. It'll impact us all in some way. The investigation will look at all aspects of this sad and tragic situation to make sure there is a clear report given to the coroner. And again, we go under the auspice and the direction of the coroner.
You had drones up there today. Is that sort of determining the wind speed? Is that sort of all forming part of your investigation?
Yes, our scientific and forensic people have drones who get an overview of the situation again, so we can piece together what happened and give the best information to the coroner as part of the inquest.
I mean, it's tragic any time of the year, especially being so close to Christmas.
We can only, we can't imagine the tragedy and on anyone involved in this situation for the loved one and families. And as you said, being close to Christmas, it just makes it so much more tragic and sadder. So it affects us all. In Christmas time, it's, as you said, any time of the year is sad, but Christmas coming up, it just makes us stop and think about the tragedy that families and friends and loved ones are going through. Okay. Probably it's a separate situation. That's so we can all absorb what's going on, and so if there's any other questions, we might break off for now. Okay, thanks everyone.